What's going on, everybody? This is Moses Workman.
And this is Moses Turner.
And this is the Moses Podcast.
No biblical shit.
You know it. We back for episode number 29. I checked this time. Last time, I think we were on 28, and we said like 20, 26 or something like
27.
that. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. We were wrong last episode, but we back. Rolling them out. It's been a couple of weeks, but, times is rough. And, we just trucking along. So, how you been, Turner?
Shit, I've been great. Like, this past, it has been like, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since?
I think about 3 weeks.
Yeah, since last podcast, and everything's just been coming along. I got a new job. Wife got a new job. Aiden's kids getting better in his grade. Shit, everything's working out.
All right. Never-ending quest for $1 million. That's what's up.
Oh, hell yeah!
It ain't gonna happen, but that's the goal.
Get rich or die trying.
Right. Most of us just die trying, but it is what it is. That's what's up, man. Congratulations for you and the wife.
Thank you.
It's been ups and downs for me past couple of weeks. It's been rough. It's been great. It's been both. Oh man, it's been a little roller coaster, but we trucking still, so it's all good. And thanks as always, to the listeners if you're listening, and we appreciate you. Like, share,
subscribe,
yeah, all that standard YouTube bullshit that you see in the videos. They say like and share, click in the down below to do this and do that, and
click the bell
and suck some balls.
Well,
don't do that unless that's your thing. So lots happened. A lot has happened. I almost don't know where to start, but I want to say I didn't say this on the record. And I hate to start. You know what? All right, forget it. I hate to start the show off with this, but it's popular amongst the youngins, the kiddies, Cardi B and Offset.
Oh shit!
I want to say that I caught it. I didn't call it on the record, but when they got married, I was like, "Give it 2 months."
Right. You know what? I don't even think we spoke about that.
We didn't, because we probably didn't want to.
Yeah, basically.
And I was like, "Man, give it like 2 months." That's what I said. I can't remember who I was talking to. But that's what I said. That's what I thought. That's how I felt. And next thing you know, she's on Instagram making single videos. It is what it is.
Yeah. That was the thing. When I heard that Offset and Cardi got married, it was like, okay, Kanye shrugged.
Yeah.
Because I just felt that whole marriage shit that they did. It was the whole. I don't even think they really got married. I just think they just said that shit because as soon as they found out that Cardi was pregnant, the label was like, "Oh my God, you're pregnant!" Yeah, and
publicity stunt.
Right. So Cardi just had to save face and say, "Oh, we secretly got married." So it wouldn't seem like, and not because I can see us going on some shit on this, but not saying that Cardi's a hoe or nothing like that. But I think that okay, it happened. Let's move on from it. I don't think they really got married. I think that the label was coming down on her because they thought that she was having a baby by out of wedlock, and she just said, "Oh yeah, we're married, so Atlantic Records can shut the fuck up."
Yeah, I can see that. You know what? I don't know, man, because I don't listen to her enough. I don't know enough about her life. I don't know if she's a hoe or not. I don't know. She might not be. I don't. She's had a sketchy past from and she talks about it in her songs and whatnot, but I honestly did not feel the energy. When I heard that they announced that they were tying that knot, I was like, give it 2 months.
Right.
I hate to do that, but it is what it is. I have this. I never brag about this or talk about this at all because I hate it. I really hate that I have this, but I do kind of have this gift to where I can predict things. I don't know if it's one of those Miss Cleo, the cards don't lie type thing. You know what I mean? But
Coming
like,
out for your mama clat reading.
but like, just for an example, it was Wednesday this week. I came into work. Well, no. Before I even came into work, I woke up. Right. I sat up in bed and I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but something ain't right. And today is going to be a crazy day. Right. And I hate that because I'm never wrong. All right. I never share it with people because I hate that I'm right in those cases. In some cases, it's more severe, and it's information I'm not going to share with anybody. Like sometimes I'll tell my wife some things, but she know. But like I woke up and I was like, man, I can feel it, man. Something ain't right today, and it's gonna be a crazy day, right? And so I get into work. Boss is like, morning, Mo. Morning, boss. How you doing today? I'm good. What do you think? What's going on today? I was like, you know what? Hold your breath today, cause it's gonna be a crazy one. And he's like, what you mean? I was like, you know what? I don't know, but I woke up and I was like, it's gonna be a crazy day. I can just something ain't right in the air. I can just feel it. I can feel the energy's off. The chakras is off, B. And he's like, Mo, don't say that, man. I was like, look, man, you know I don't like saying stuff like that, but it is what it is. So not even an hour later. No. What was the first incident? Oh yeah. So all right, it was 2 hours. It was 2 hours into the work shift, right? Some dude, I hear this loud banging like right outside my office, and the side door to the building is right outside my office. I hear this boom, 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 and I was like, "What the fuck?" So, whenever I hear that noise, I could tell what it is. It's somebody trying to get in from the outside,
Right.
and there's some dude pulling and tugging at the door, pissed off because the door's locked and he can't get in because it's an exit only.
Oh shit.
I mean, you can come in that way, but if somebody opens it for you, you know.
Right.
So he's pulling and tugging at the door, and I'm staring at him, and I'm like, okay. And he's got a black and mild in his hand. I was like, all right, so he's really trying to come back in here. So I keep my eye on him, and next thing you know, he starts bouncing his head and his neck like as if he's singing some sort of song. And I'm like, yo, what's up with this dude? So he's doing his little bounce and puffing his black, and he walks around the corner. Now when he gets to the corner, that's the end of the view from my window. So I go into the conference room so I can see the other side of the building, and I'm looking at him through the window. So he goes across the street. Now across the street is an assisted living type center rehab place for people who are challenged. Right. So and they can't live on their own. So he goes in there, and there's a double door over there. He goes in the first set of doors, and he's in there in the little lobby or vestibule area or whatever, puffing his little black. And then he comes back out. And then he comes across the street back to where I am.
Right.
At this point, I left the conference room and I go up to the front main lobby where the front door is. Because if he's smoking a cigarette or is black and mild, I'm not gonna let him in the building. So I'm on the inside, I'm in the hallway, and I'm standing there. And he comes up to the door, he looks in, he looks left, he looks right, he turns around, he goes back to the steps, he takes a puff. And he comes back to the door, he opens the door, he exhales halfway in because there's a double door.
Yeah.
A double set of doors. He comes in the first set of doors, he exhales, blew all of his black smoke in the first set. And then he opens the main doors, right?
Right.
And I'm on the other side. And I said, whoa, sir. I'm sorry, but you can't come in here smoking your black and mild. Please go back outside, put it out. You can come in, handle your business. Or please leave. One or the other. Please pick. And he looked at me, and he does his little neck bounce thing, and he and when I say this little neck bounce thing, if you've seen The Lion King, right, and you know the part where Rafiki's swinging through the trees and he's singing his little song.
You're right.
And he's beating Simba over the head with the stick, and he's like, "On the sun, banana." Right. So this dude is like bouncing, and he's singing his song, but he's making up the words. Right. So he's trying to be slick. He's making up the words. So he's singing some sort of song, and I said, "Sir, I need you to leave the building. Put your black out." And he turns around. Like, because at this point, he had walked right past me as if I wasn't there.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, should I tackle this dude? But no, I was like, all right, no. I was like, sir, I know you hurt me. Please leave the building. Put your black out and then handle your business. So he stops and he turns around and looks at me. He sticks his hands out, like out to each side as if he's like holding it out like, you know, like what? Like,
right.
So he's holding his hands out like that. And then he opens his wide eyes real wide, and then he points at me, and then he points his thumb back behind him. He's like, "I'm going this way, way. And he's bouncing, right? And I'm like, "Oh, what the hell is going on right now?" So he goes back down the hall, all the way down the hall to where the side door was, right next to my office. So I'm following him, and I'm like, you know what? I don't got this to do right now. So I pulled on my cell phone. I get 911. Thank you for calling 911. Due to a high call volume, please wait.
What the fuck?
No bullshit.
911 does that shit now? That's crazy.
So I called 911. I got put on hold. I'm not even bullshitting. I promise. I was put on hold, right? So I'm on hold with 911. So I yelled down the hall to my suit. I was like, "Yo, I need you to come out here. I need some eyes out here. I just need your help. Get out here." So my supervisor comes out. She's standing at the intersection of the hallway because my hallway is down to the left, but he kept straight, right? So she's standing in the hallway to the left, and she's a diffuser. She's a natural diffuser,
right?
Like, she could be a hostage negotiator if she wanted, right?
Oh,
so
shit.
She's so dope at it. So she's sitting there in the intersection, right? And I'm like, I'm explaining the situation. I'm like, yo, I explained to this dude he can't come in here. He got his black and mild in his hand. He's singing some sort of song. I just want him out of here. He has to go. He has to go now. So I pointed at the stuff on the ground. It was a bag and a hat or a glove or something. And I was like, "Excuse me, sir, are these your belongings?" And he turns and looks at the stuff. He was like, "This is my stuff, and I'm going to wear it. Wearing my stuff. Woo!" And then, like, and he's doing this little bounce. And I'm like, oh, my God, something is wrong with homeboy. So he picks up his hat. He picks up his bag. And as he picked up his bag, he dropped his lighter. And he looked at my suit and was like, you gonna pick it up? You're gonna pick up the lighter, hand it to me. and she was like, nope, I'm not picking it up. You can pick it up, but I'm not picking it up. So then he looks at me, and then he looked me like dead in my eyes, right? And he starts walking towards me, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Right.
So I assumed the position. I was going freaking Goldberg spearing, right? I was going to rush him, boom, take him down to the ground because my supervisor, she's a cop, like, she's a part-time police officer. So I was going to tackle him and let her do her thing to restrain him and everything, right? So I assumed this little tackle position, right? But before he got too close to me, I put my hand out. I was like, "Sir, do not step one more step towards me."
Right.
And he stopped and he froze and his eyes got wide again and he stuck his hands out. "I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it." And he pointed at he pointed and turned around at my supervisor. He was like, "This lady's a pile of shit. Shit. And I'm like, yo. I'm like, yo, this ain't happening. This is not my life right now, right? So So long story short, man. I get 911. Finally, 911 comes on right after he called my boss a piece of shit. Uh, so I got 911. 911, what's your emergency? I was like, what's the address of your emergency? I told him the address. I was like, yo, such and such street, come down here. I got a gentleman that I told to exit the building. He's not trying to leave. He's in here smoking. He's causing a disturbance. We want him gone, and he's not leaving. And then the operator was like, "Well, what is he doing?" Like I just told you, like he's causing a disturbance. He's being loud, and he's in here smoking.
Right.
Well, what did he do to it? Did he do anything to anyone? Like, are you? Are you
shitting me? He was smoking.
Like, don't you got a high call volume? Get somebody down here. Like, so I'm getting mad. Like. You don't understand. Like I've said this before and I'll say it again. Bad customer service takes me over the edge.
Right.
Quick, right? And I'm getting it from a 911 operator. And I'm like, yo, I've spoken to you before. Like I know your voice. Get somebody over here. You know we're the police station. Tell them to come upstairs. Like, cause we don't have a local dispatch.
Right.
So in order to dispatch our own officers, if they're not visible and like within voice range, we have to call 911, just like everybody else.
Right.
So, dude is grilling me, and he's like, well, what does he look like? I was like, he's right here. He's in the building. Tell an officer. All right. I said, all right. So look, let me just tell you this, operator, dispatch. So, I am in the same building as the police station. Please get over the radio. Tell an officer to come to the lobby. That's it. He's like, well, what am I going to tell the officer? Mother.
What the fuck?
So I was like, all right, thank you. Please get someone up here quick. I'm hurting. Please hurry. So I hung up the phone. I shouldn't have did that, but I was frustrated. I'm sorry.
Fuck that. No.
911, if they want to, man, they can pick and choose and come after you. So yeah.
It'd be different if you was playing with 911. You wasn't.
I know,
was just being
like it was a real situation. So, I hung up with 911 and I told my boss, my supervisor, I was like, yo, I just got him on the phone. It was a little rough, but officer on the way. And so dude heard me and he perked up. He was like, police. And he's like doing his little dance. And I'm like, oh my God, yo, get this dude out of here. So he grabbed his stuff. He grabbed his bag, grabbed his hat, grabbed his little glove, his lighter and everything. And he bolted out the door like there was no tomorrow. Like the world was about to end and he had to hurry up and get home to save his comic book collection. I don't know what. So he bounced out, right? And 2-3 minutes later, a police officer finally comes upstairs. Moses, what's wrong? Nothing now. Thanks. Nothing. Thanks. That's the. I won't say no more. Thank you. And then, but he was like, "So what happened?" I was like, "Oh man, this dude." I told him the story.
Right.
And I was like, "If you look out here and around the corner, you might still be able to see him." And he was like, "Oh no, that's all right. That's all right." So that was that. I mean, so that happened. That's just one part of the day.
Oh damn, man! It wasn't
just one part of the day. No, like the stories continue. So after that story, my boss, like, cause all right, so not my supervisor, but the actual boss, the borough manager. I was like, yo, I told you, man. I caught it. Told you it was gonna be a crazy day. Something wrong in the air. Like it ain't right. And he was like, yeah, you did call that, Mo. I was like, all right. So the prior day, right, we had a situation where one of the kids thought it was funny to stuff paper towels in the utility sink and clog the sink and leave the water running. Well, they succeeded, fuckers. Right? So they and this is up on the 3rd floor, and they clogged the sink. They left the water running, and one of the employees upstairs comes down to my office. He's like, "Hey, Moses, it's like an inch of water in the hallways up on the 3rd floor." And I was like, "What?" It's like, why are you telling me? Why don't you call Public Works? Like, I'm not a plumber. Like, So I go up to check out the situation, and there's a ton. Like he's not bullshitting. There was like an inch of water in the hallway all the way down, but right in front of the finance department. And
Oh
long
shit.
story short, like I went into the bathroom. The water, he had already turned off the water. I looked out in the water. There was a paper towel in the drain. I cleared the drain, and after the drain was clear, we had a whole lot of water on the floor. So I contacted Public Works, had them come up, and they took care of it. So, like, so the next day, that was the prior day. So this day, after Rafiki decided to cause a disturbance in my hallways, um, I went back up to the third floor, and I looked in that restroom. The drains were clogged again, and the utility sink and a regular sink. I didn't check the toilet, none of the toilets, so they were probably clogged too. But so I mean, it's been crazy, man. I don't know what I'm getting at. There's not really any funny to come out of that story. It's just a lot of crazy
Besides the
shit has
fucking
been
storm.
happening. Ah, man, it's
Yeah, nah. That I'm sorry. Like you said, there ain't nothing funny to come out the story. No, that whole story was funny as shit. So, nah, and that actually made me think of a similar story.
okay.
All right, so, um, I was on the way to work. This was like what? Damn, about 11 years ago. Um, I was on my way to work. I was catching the P1, and there was somebody of special needs who was speaking to me, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, well, do you got 50?" He was like, "Sir, do you have 50 cents?" And I'm just like, "Sure." So I just gave him the 50 cents. I thought he was gonna go away. No, he didn't.
Mm.
So he goes and he's speaking to me, and we're having a conversation like we're boys. And then there was this girl that came along that just passed us. Now, mind you, this girl looked good. I mean, damn, she looked good.
Right.
But she was young.
Okay.
I was 20. This girl was probably like, what, 16, 17 at most.
Jailbait.
Exactly. But dude didn't know the difference. So he looked at me. He looked at me, and then he looks at her, and he goes, "You're so pretty." And the girl goes, "Oh, thank you." Then he looks at me and says, loud as hell, "Hey, my man, why don't you get yours?" And now at this time, my mouth just dropped. Like, what did you just say to me? And he was just like, "Why don't you get yours?" And then he looks at her and he's just like, "What you see is dynamite."
Yeah, damn.
And I just look up, I'm like, "Oh shit." So we get onto the bus, and I just so happen to see my cousin coming on the bus. And so I'm just like, "All right, my cousin's here. I'm just gonna leave this dude alone and just start talking to my cousin." Nope. Girl knows my cousin. So the girl and my cousin starts talking, and he's just looking at. He's like, "Hey, yo, my man." He says it again. "Why don't you get yours?" I'm just looking like, "Oh shit, here he goes." And he's just like, "What you see is dynamite." And then like a couple minutes later, he goes, "I'm gonna take you three and put it in my sexy Christmas tree."
Security.
I
Goddamn.
wish there was security on the bus.
Man.
So we all just felt like, "Yo, dude, did that just happen?" I'm just like, "Yeah, that just happened." And then he just still taps at me again. Once again, it goes, "Why don't you get yours?"
Goddamn, man. Like, mind your own business, sir.
Right. And I'm just like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And the little girl's like, and the little girl's just like, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. So I was like, there's no reason to apologize. How old are you? And she was like, 16. I was like, I'm 20. I ain't gonna try. And she was just like, all right, cool.
Man.
Now, meanwhile, my cousin was 16 at the time. But he still looks at my cousin and he just goes, I'm gonna put y'all three and I'm gonna put y'all on my sexy Christmas tree. I'm just like, what the fuck?
That's some creepy shit.
It was creepy as hell. Then a couple years later, I see this guy again, and there was this girl that was sitting next to him. Like he just ends up sitting down on the bus, and he sees me and he's like, "Hey, I remember you. Why don't you get yours?" I'm like, "Oh shit." Now, meanwhile, my mom is right next to me at this time, so she's hearing this shit too. So the girl is next to him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I can't wait. My birthday is coming up next week. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get a flat screen TV, and it has an LED screen." I was like, "Oh, okay, word." So he was just like, "Yeah, I can't wait for my birthday to come up. Flat screen TV, and I'm gonna get her too." Points at the lady sitting next to him.
Yeah, damn.
He's just like, "Yep, I can't wait for my birthday presents. Her and that flat screen TV."
Man, mental health is real, yo. Mental health is so real. I don't even know if I'm supposed to laugh at that.
And see, that's the messed up part about it, because I'm laughing at it because he knows he was joking.
Okay.
Like, I'm not making fun of mental health at all.
Oh no, I wasn't implying that.
Oh no, I know you wasn't, but just in case listeners go like, "Oh, he's a dickhead." No,
Right.
he knows he was joking. Every time he spoke to me, he knew he was joking. It was just that funny. So every time I think about that dude, I'm not sure what happened to that dude afterwards, but he was just funny as hell. He would just say some shit, and it was just that funny.
Right.
So, so what you talked about your situation, it just made me think of mine.
It's just wild, man. Yeah, this is kind of like I almost led with this story, but I told you about it in the car, but so just hours before we recorded today, I was almost robbed. I'm gonna give y'all the short version. I was almost robbed for some wings, right? So I ordered some wings. I called it in. I came to pick them up, paid for them, everything, and I'm on my way out the store. So I'm standing in the parking lot. On the other end of the parking lot is a sidewalk. There's these 4 dudes there. So there's one dude breaks off from his group, and he starts running towards me. And I'm like, all right, so let me get out of this dude's way. But no, he was coming to me. So he stops and he looks at my bag. He's like, yo, what you get? I was like, excuse me, who are you? He's like, well, what you get to eat? I was like, man, I got some food for my family. He's like, yo, can I have some? Nah, man, I don't know you. He's like, come on, man, just this one time. Nah, no, you ain't getting none of my food, yo. And then he looked at my bag, looked at me, and then he did like this jump move as if he was gonna swing on me, trying to make me flinch, right? But little does he know, I've been in that situation several times in my entire life, so I'm waiting for him to make a move. So he does his little jump step, and I kind of just looked at him, look down and look up. You know how you give people that condescending
look? Right, you just size people up, right?
Right. I gave him that square up, that almost square up look. So I gave him that look, and so I was like, "Yo, you what is you tough or something?" And he's like, No, his boy was in the background. I was like, so what is you tough or something? And his boy is in the background egging him on, like, yo, just go ahead and get it, yo, go ahead and get him. I was like, okay, so we about to do something then. So I set my food down right on this dude's trunk, and as I'm sizing them up. Oh, keep in mind that this whole pack of wild kids is no older than 13, 14, right? So I think, and I was the oldest one. So uh, the dude in the background was like, yo, just go ahead and get him, get it. And he tried to rush for me, so I did a little step back. I put him in this little headlock, and I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you? You know you get killed out here for stuff like this, try to rob people. Even I don't care if it's just for chicken. Like,
Right.
what's wrong with you? He signaled to he signaled to his boy. He was like, yo, help me, y'all gonna help me, y'all gonna help me. So his homeboys start running up on me. I was like, all right, so I'm about to get jumped, and that ain't happening today. All right, I'm just down to get some food, right? So I let homeboy's head lock up, and I pushed him into his other boy, and they kind of tumbled a little bit, but they got right back up. And so I pushed him into his boy, and I pulled out my knife, right? So I'm like, all right, so if this is what we doing, then which one of y'all wants to get cut first? Let's go. And they were like, what? I was like, you heard me. So they looked and they turned around and bounced. So this was all over some wings.
Over some fucking chicken.
Some chicken wings.
Over some chicken.
And I wasn't about to let them go. So, I mean, I'll cut somebody over my food. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be some goddamn McDonald's French fries. Which I don't even like. And I'll cut you because I'm about to eat these. It's mine. God damn it. Oh man, people wild out here. You can't even go get your own food no more, man, without getting some BS.
And see, it's a damn shame because kids just really don't give a fuck. And I think it's because they know they're kids.
Yep.
So they know they can get into some shit. And once they turn 18, it's just like, oh, like an etch a sketch didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Or they're going to meet the wrong dude.
Right.
So.
And that's exactly what happened. Shit, I didn't even front. I think I told you about this like years ago. Stupid little motherfuckers think that they was going to try to scare me.
Okay.
This was back when you was living on Elm. I was on the way home, and I was walking home, and it was like, what, I want to say 7 o'clock. So I was like, okay, it ain't too late. Stupid little fuckers. I hear these kids like they're at a store, and they're like, oh yeah, I heard about this dude before. I heard he was a bitch. Da, da, da. So one kid was like, oh, well, it's gonna be easy then. So he comes up to me. I'm still walking, and it's him and his 3 boys, and they surround me. So I just look at old boy, and I'm like, what's up? So kid pulls his gun out. So I just looked up, just like, oh, so you have a gun. I hope you can use it, because I saw his hand, like, as he pointed his gun, his hand was shaking. Like, he really didn't want to do it. So I'm looking at his hand shaking, I'm just like, oh, okay. So you got this gun, I hope you use it. And he just looked like, what you mean?
He was scared out of his pants.
Right, scared out of his mind. And I'm just looking, I'm like, hold on. Like I said, I hope you use it. You got this gun, you got it pointed at me. I hope you use it. So he's just looking like, what, you gonna do something if I don't use it? I step closer to the barrel. To the point where it's just like, barrel's right in the middle of my head.
Okay.
I hope you use it.
Right.
And so now he's seeing that I'm not playing.
That's good. That's the way it should be.
and now his arm is shaking even more. He puts the gun right back into his pocket and was just like, yo, dude, we're sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think he was like this. Yo, dude, we're sorry. We're sorry. We'll go back to where we were. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I'm just like, hold on, what you sorry about?
Right.
Nah, what you sorry about? No, I'm mad. So I'm like, nah, what you sorry about? What you sorry about? And he's just like, nah, we're sorry. We're sorry. We'll just go back to where we were. We just go back to where we were. And his boy was just like, oh man, this dude's crazy. This dude's crazy. This dude's crazy. And so I'm just like, nah, what is this? You just, like, I'm pissed now.
Right.
And the messed up part about it was the gun was real. It wasn't no cap gun or no bullshit like that. The gun was real. That was a 9mm. That was a 9mm that he popped out.
Yeah, damn.
So he really thought that he was going to scare somebody into whatever he was going to scare him with.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So I'm on the way home. I'm pissed. I got home. I had my brothers coming up talking about, oh yeah, nah, we're gonna come up and we're gonna see who the real gangsters are. I'm like, nah, we don't even need to do that. Fuck that.
I
He
ain't
ain't
come here
shooting.
for all that.
Right. But yeah, so that was the craziest shit. Like, he had a real gun on me, and he was just the fuck. Okay,
Yeah, it's just my phone. Go ahead.
all right. so I'm just like, nah, I'm pissed now. I came home pissed, and everybody was just like, yo, you okay? I'm just like, no, I'm not okay. I had a real gun pulled out on me, and he ain't do shit with it.
Right.
And everybody was like, yo, you got a death wish on the fact that you was cussing these kids out because he ain't do shit with it. I'm like, no, that was a real 9mm that was on my forehead.
Right. Can't plant that.
Right.
Gotta do your homework first.
So the fact that he didn't do shit with it
Good.
is a fucking problem. But yeah, that was shit. 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So yeah, that was back on my 20 days. So I'm actually glad that I'm still living on that one. But yeah, he knows not to pull no bullshit like that no more.
Word. Word. So, I think we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it that one. You got anything else you want to mention?
I had a lot of shit though.
Oh, you know what? What happened in the news? Bush.
Oh, HW died?
Yeah, Bush died. You know, rest peacefully, guy.
Yeah.
You know, I was just talking to my wife about this today. I was like, you know what's so dope about the Bush family that people don't think about is like their dad was president, and then he had kids, and one of the sons was the president. The other one was like a infomercial or something, right?
Well, the other one was a senator.
Okay, and but like he got to live long enough to see his son become the president of the United States.
Right.
I think that's probably like the dopest gift that a child can give to a parent. Like, I became the president. I'm like, what?
I'm just like you, Dad.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I can think of, you know, in this endeavor.
Nah, it's kind of funny because I think about once George H.W. Bush died, it just made me think of George W. And this whole time when he was president, everybody was talking shit about how George W. was just shit. He was the most fucked up president. Blah, 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 blah. But as soon as our current president got elected into office,
They all got behind his back.
right, W got on to the talk show circuit going, see, I wasn't so bad. I wasn't so bad.
He's got a point. I can't argue that.
Right, and that's the funny part because nobody can. Because it was just like, oh, damn.
Right.
We got this current president in office. Bush wasn't so bad. Bush wasn't so bad. And you're seeing these pictures with him and Michelle Obama and how...
Nah, I missed those.
Oh, shit.
I'll catch them later, though.
Yeah, no, you need to catch them. It's funny as hell. W's all hugged up on Michelle. And he's just like, oh, I love you, Michelle. It's funny as hell.
Damn. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Oh, man. Yeah, but for some reason, his dad dying made me think of his son.
Right.
And I guess it's because when his dad was president, I really didn't know much except for the fact that Saddam was trying to kill him. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Right.
That's all I don't know if I would say give a damn about because I was like 4 when I knew that guy was president. So
Okay.
I didn't know much of shit about George H.W. Bush except, oh, his son is president now. Ain't that a bitch? That's it.
Yep. It works. All right. I think we're going to call this one a wrap. Go ahead and sign us off as usual. This is Moses Workman.
And this is Moses Turner.
And this is the Moses Podcast.
No biblical shit.
There we go.
Peace.